And welcome back now, live into Suncorp Stadium again in Brisbane. We've almost taken up residence here this week, and still, of course, suffering from the hangover of Wednesday, and what a match it was. This, of course, has got its own qualities in the shape of a local derby, as Phil Gould has talked about, and plenty of Titans memorabilia, or whatever you like to call it, out there in the crowd, matching the maroon and gold of the Broncos as best they can. The crowd expected to rise to around about 42,000 people. They've marketed the Titans very well, as they did the Broncos in their initial stages. The young and the old, and probably many of them living on the Gold Coast, barracking for Brisbane, or living in Brisbane, barracking for the Gold Coast. So Scotty Prince takes them out from the visiting dressing room this time, unlike the round 5 encounter when they took charge of the home dressing room, using this match or this venue for its size to advantage. And they take the field now behind their leader, Scott Prince, for a vital game for them. If they lose to the Broncos, they will drop to at least number 8 on the ladder, but it could be as low as 10. The percentage count is not brilliant. And we know that either the Sharks or the Bulldogs will leapfrog them for sure if they go down to Brisbane tonight. That is for certain. And then there's 3 others waiting in the wings that could go over the top of them as well. Yeah, but look at the other way, Ray. They win tonight, they could go into 4th position, which I think people would find amazing at this stage of the season. Exceeded plenty of people's expectations except their own. Well, this should be a big reception for Darren. 274 first-grade premiership games for the Broncos for Darren Lockyer, equalling the record set by foundation player Michael Hancock. And he made the comment in the press here today that Darren Lockyer is the best Bronco he has ever seen. He deserves to be known as Bronco #1, and that's what he's going to achieve next weekend when he breaks the record. 15 years of age, he was found by Cyril Connell, recruitment officer for the Broncos up at Roma. And then he came and he debuted against Parramatta in 1995. And players on the end of try-scoring ventures that day said, "Who the hell is this that just put the ball on my chest and put me in to score?" Clark is the referee, that's Stephen. It's a high kick-off, as it was on Wednesday night, with plenty of hang time off the same boot. And Luke Bailey, who backs up from Wednesday, is the first tackle for the Titans. And this is Donnelly, one of those mid-season transfers from Melbourne, Ian Donnelly. There are 3 of them in the game tonight. Bailey out to the 20-metre line. This tackled by Lockyer and Carroll. This is Minicello trying to make a break down the short side. Well, he's feeling very good out there, Luke Bailey, coming off a win for New South Wales Wednesday night. 2 touches in the first 3 hit-ups. Played just 35 minutes, so he should be nice and fresh. Last tackle against the Titans. Scott Prince gets one away. Prince driving it down. It bounces a couple of times before it's fielded by Denon Kemp. He's played a few first-grade games, debuted this year. Comes from Mudgery Bar, down towards the New South Wales border. And they're on the 30-metre line as the ball was played by Hodges, and that's Frawley, who takes a hammering. Frawley, again, one of those players, a mid-season transfer. Sevena Siva takes it to 5 metres from the halfway line, and O'Dwyer, number 3, who's in there for Matt Rogers, is penalised for hanging around in there too long, and maybe a hand on the ball. But again, it's an infringement you know is going to be heavily policed by Stephen Clark early in the game. Hasn't played much football, as I pointed out, Luke O'Dwyer, just 2 games off the bench. It's a start tonight in the absence of Matt Rogers. Sevena Siva then taking it to the line and drawing the defence before offloading to Ben Hannant. And he will play at 25 metres out from the Titans line there. For Berrigan to go across, and he links up with Sevena Siva, who's put down on the 20-metre line by Swain in 13. Now comes over for Michael Ennis, and he turns it back on the inside for Corey Parker in 15. They last played here in round 5, won by the Titans, 28-16. Great game. And Brad Thorne has got the ball within 3 metres of the line now. Early days and a chance for Brisbane. From Berrigan to Lockyer. He lets a decoy run, gets it to Kemp, and Kemp is a metre out from the line, the young fullback. Playing it a metre out, taken by Scott Prince in the tackle. Then for Lockyer, depth for Ennis, came off Brisbane, off the Titans, and Friend is allowed to go on with it. It came off a player, a colleague of his, but he didn't play at the ball, came off his legs, and here's a penalty now against Brisbane. Holding down in the tackle, the ruling.
Well, on first view, I thought that the Gold Coast player actually did play at the football. And I don't know where Nathan Friend was in relation to that, but Scott Prince finds touch just up around halfway, courtesy of their first penalty.
Let's have a look at it then. And it all was such rapid fire, almost impossible to tell. Off that, Bailey, 37 metres away from the Brisbane line. Play fractionally towards the western side of the ground as Prince goes short to Donnelly. And Donnelly in a wrestle with 3 of the Broncos, who eventually win the day. And there's early trouble back there in his own in goal. I think it's Hodgson, the second rower. This is Minicello playing the ball inside the 30-metre line. They go blindside, and Prince goes away to O'Dwyer. He's pulled down 8 metres away from the corner post.
And Michael Hodgson limps off the field as Prince kicks
Prince
through.
Has got a try here for them. Beautiful work, the 5/8 Lewis. Josh Lewis. Talking of mid-season transfers, and the number 6 is another to capitalise on the brilliance of Scott Prince.
Well, we're going upstairs before it's official, just to make sure the chasers are behind Scott Prince, and then he gets the football down inside the field of play. Well, the former is fine. Chasers are behind the kicker. Lewis in front of Kemp. Does he get it down well and truly from that angle? I don't think the other angle from front on will be a problem either. First points to the Gold Coast.
Well, it's 4 points coming for the Titans. 4 minutes into the game. Josh Lewis.
But to counter that, we have got Michael Hodgson going to the sheds. And he's been helped all the way around. Here we go.
And the try's official. Josh Lewis, the try scorer, on camera, which gives us our chance now in a break here in Australia to welcome our overseas audiences. And Delaney has got it set for the kick from 10 out, right in front. And you come back to Delaney taking a simple shot at goal to convert the try scored on the other side of the break by Josh Lewis.
And a perfect start there for little brother. It's the first try of the game. Josh Lewis, one of his strengths, coming through chasing the kick. He can also put kicks through for tries. Have a look at the crowd here tonight for this local derby. It's an absolute beauty. These people paid big dollar to come and watch the Origin during the week, filled the ground. The people of Queensland support their rugby league. Bailey brings it up. I don't know why we can't get these sort of crowds for club football in Sydney. It just shows that people will come to see top-class footballers and teams that are prepared to use the football. It's great stuff, Rabbits.
Minicello is 15 away from his own line now. This is Peterson, Matthew, and Nathan Friend trying to get something going down the short side, but there was a bit of hesitation in his work. And now it's out for Donnelly, and Donnelly is unloading the ball to Friend, who was there and available for work, and he picked it up neatly off his toes, takes it out to halfway. Tackled there by the 11, Stagg, who's playing in the centres. The kick from Scott Prince has come off the legs of Brisbane and played at.
Yes, Michael Ennis, I think was coming, or might have been, no, it was Michael Ennis, deliberately played at the football. And in jersey 18, Chris Kaler is the man that has come on to replace Michael Hodgson. Came up from Canberra as a second rower, played a lot of front row coming to the Gold Coast Titans, so he will slot in comfortably as we go sideline. Ben Eichen.
Yeah, great start from the Titans. They look excited to be here, don't they? It's good conditions for rugby league here tonight too. It's 15 degrees, there's no real breeze to speak of, and as always, the Suncorp Stadium surface has pulled up well despite a fairly hectic schedule. Now, Michael Hodgson's been carried off. It's a right knee injury. We don't know if he's going to come back on. We'll give you an update very shortly.
Well, Scotty Prince is complaining that Petro Sivanasiva's outside leg was illegally placed by the big front row forward, and Clark seemingly agreed with him. Here's Mark Minicello now up towards the Brisbane 40-metre line. Kaler has gone on for Hodgson. And another penalty.
Yeah, played the ball infringement again, turning the man. Aaron Lockyer appeared to be the main culprit. Scott Prince will find touch again inside the 20, so some good early field position for the Titans. They've taken advantage once, opportunity to do it again.
Friend turning it away for Minicello, who's led the charge very much so for the Titans thus far. And Friend gets out from dummy half. A decoy run, then the call from Bailey back on the inside of Prince, and Bailey is taken down by originally Carroll. Over the top comes Hannon. Friend then, second man, Prince second man. Out through Lewis, it's found Campbell. Campbell away, out to Delaney. And Delaney's put in the touch under great defence from Berrigan, Michaels and David Stagg.
Well, that's good for both sides. It just shows the Broncos are on their game there in defence, but I get the feeling that the Gold Coast Titans want to throw a little bit of spread football at them early, just to get them in that frame of mind. See how the Broncos there are going backwards, a little bit submissive, just defending to the corner post. And that's the way the Gold Coast want them to defend, so that the likes of Campbell and Prince can actually get them around the middle of the field later when they're worn out. Good from both sides.
Hodges then, 12 out from his line. That's David Stagg with a run from dummy half. Centre three-quarter plays it, centre three-quarter takes it away. And here's the sound of Clark's whistle again. By goodness, he's heavy on the play the balls tonight.
Well, I wish he'd dropped the whistle. Why can't they send him out there for the first 10 minutes without one? He just gets in the way sometimes. We'll have slower play the balls than that tonight later in the game that won't get penalised.
Lockyer with a very good kick, finding the line on the eastern side of the ground. Sivanasiva then. Up the middle, he takes it. And Bailey takes him to ground. Massive bear hug, and the two big men hit the turf. Now for Hannant, and he picks up the smallest opposition player he can and runs it straight at Nathan Friend. To the 20-metre line for the Brisbane Broncos. Already behind 6-0. Carroll hitting the ball at gusto. To the 10-metre line, running off a rocket from Lockyer. Berrigan from dummy half is 7 metres out from the line. Ennis looking over at his captain. He's gone to him. A cut-out ball, and Carroll is over. Hitting and spinning and reversing. Tony Carroll scores for the Broncos. He has found a resurgence in his form. He's never played better.
Well, that combination has been unstoppable in recent weeks. They carved up the West Tigers Monday Night Football with exactly that. On to Tony Carroll. Too strong for the defence, especially that close to the line.
There he is. Scored on debut at Origin in 1998, if my memory isn't playing tricks with me. He's done it all. He's played for Queensland. He's played for New Zealand. He's played for Australia. He's a rarity, isn't he? Many people, of course, have got strong arguments against what he's been able to do or allowed to do. So, Tony Carroll scores off a lovely pass from Darren Lockyer. 31-year-old Carroll. Debuted back in 1996. Against North Queensland it was. A year after their entry, I guess. And the kick for goal taken by Parker is there.
Nice hit back there by the Broncos. Tony Carroll, as Peter Sterling said, is in rare form. Tremendous 2 weeks ago against the Tigers. And I watched him interviewed. I watched Darren Lockyer interviewed after the game on Fox Sports. And he said at half-time, he said Tony Carroll was going so good. He sidled up to me and said, "Can you get the spiders off me? They're scared of me. They won't tackle me."
That's right.
He said, "I can't believe it. I must have spiders on me." He couldn't believe his own good luck. Burst through there again and scored.
So the Titans going out to a 6-0 lead. It's been levelled up by the combination of Lockyer and Carroll. And a fortuitous penalty coming along with a raft of other penalties that have been handed out by Stephen Clark in the early part of this game. Sivanasiva will play at 28 out from his own line. Brisbane have played twice under Clark this year. They've lost them both as Parker goes trundling up the middle of the ground to the 40-metre line. Left wrist heavily bandaged, Corey Parker, as the ball is kicked down towards Peterson.
And that was very well read by Matt Peterson, because Sean Berrigan kicked earlier in the count. But he was awake to it, Peterson. He was already herring back to nullify any 40-20 opportunity as Smith Samau tackled inside his own 20.
Parker and Innes, the main tacklers. Now Luke Swain.
I think too, Peter, that Preston Campbell was in some doubt coming into this game today. It was probably only a late decision he played. I think both wingers will be back there keen to help him run the ball back tonight, so he's not left on his own. The little fella's here, he's going to play.
Minicello playing the ball as we go sideline for Ben Aiken.
Yeah, not good news for the Gold Coast Titans. Michael Hodgin, who was carried off before with that right knee injury, will not return. Could be quite serious.
So Lewis with an evasive run, but then they lose time and space, and now Lockyer comes up with the ball. It's incredible the amount of times that he's there to pick up the opposition mistakes.
Well, that was crazy play. You know, one of the rules of rugby league is you pass to a man that you think is in a better position than yourself, and I can't see how Nathan Friend came up with that decision. All his support players are in front, but he still tries to flick one to Big Bailey, who wasn't going anywhere.
So Darren Lockyer has decided to take the shot at goal from right in front. He's asked Corey Parker to take the kick.
That's an amazing decision this early in the game. To have a kick from, what is it, 34 metres out right in front. Corey Parker's kicking okay. That's probably a 60% opportunity for him on his good nights. But I thought the Broncos looked really dangerous both times they came down in their 20. Looked like scoring both times. Might have gone for the try, I reckon.
It's probably oxygen conservation, is it, Pete?
Could well be.
Well, no, one thing about Corey Parker, it is as lean as I have ever seen Corey Parker. He looks fighting fit out there. He's come on, I think, in the last season or two. He probably didn't live up to early raps when he played some Origin football, but now he's starting to be very consistent in the top grade.
Let's have a look at it. Here it comes. It looks okay. So Lockyer's decision to take the two proved okay in the final wash-up. It's 8-6.
We don't know yet.
No, you're probably right. Titans kicking off again. Lockyer back for Hannon. Hannon with a good run, straddling run, straining. Friend underneath, hanging on like a little leech.
Well, I can't give him a bigger rap, Ben Hannon. His last two runs, he's looked like a miniature Shane Webke.
Thorne then thundering the ball out past the 30-metre line. Playing in the unfamiliar jumper of 16, Brad Thorne tonight. And Ben Hannon, Rooster to Bronco to a premiership winning team last year. Hodges. Three of them not backing up. Penalty again. He's got another hand on the ball, and now he's going to talk to them.
Who's captain? You or Scotty? You can both come and listen if you like.
Joint captains, and Clark says, who wants to listen? Both of you, come over here. Let's listen to what Clark's got to say.
We had a number of penalties in quick succession against your side for ruck infringements. One was against you just a little while ago. You're holding them down, and you've got to get out of there. When you hear me call move, they've got to get out, not lie there.
Well, when you
Thank
say
you.
in rapid succession. That's 2. The opposition have had 4 penalties against them.
So, Lockyer finding the line, 27 away. On the eastern side of Suncorp Stadium, Sivanasiva to the line, didn't take them on, basically asked them to come to him before he sent Thorne ahead for another 7 metres. Berrigan's 10 out, Ennis is 9 out. Oh, batted along the line out to the wing for Michaels, it went forward. Who was that man batting the ball along the line?
That was a young fullback, mate.
Denon Kemp, yeah.
Denon Kemp. I think he hurt himself too.
Well, he got hurt last week against the Panthers. That young Namali, the Penrith interchange, cleaned him up in spectacular fashion.
Gee, looking at that replay, if it was forward, it was fractional.
Wasn't that far forward at all, was it? He batted it to his teammate. I think if his teammate had a bit deeper, he'd have got it to go backwards more.
So 8-6 is the score. Just to
Keep it up there, Luke.
wipe any doubts from your mind. 8-6 in favour of the Bronx.
Keep an eye on young Kemp because he makes that tackle now, but he's certainly inconvenienced. He hurt his knee last week and he's limping about on it again.
So now penalty against the Broncos for basically the same thing that Clark has just spoken to the Titans about. That's the fullback we're talking about, Denon Kemp, the 20-year-old from Mudgery-Bar, who played Queensland under-19s last year.
That's 7 penalties in 17 minutes. At this rate, we'll have 40 penalties in the game, and Steve Clark will get man of the match.
Friend sending Swain straight up the 20-metre line. The 20-metre line in from touch on the western side I'm talking about. Prince goes short for Kayla. And Chris Kayla, former Raider, plays it near halfway. Prince across, throwing dummies, goes over looking for Bailey and turns it inside for Bailey to make 7 or 8 metres to the 40-metre line. Friend away for Prince to go on. Minicello's been strong. 30 metres out from the Brisbane line, trailing by a couple. Prince hangs it out there like last week's washing. Gives it back for Lewis, who got the try off his halfback's boot. Then Friend, he puts one in, but it's a comfortable bounce for Denon Kemp. Tackled on his own 20.
Yeah, that was a weak end of the set of 6. Some nice fast play there from the Gold Coast side, changing the point of attack. Open side, short side, blind side. But a poor kick at the end of the set of 6 just to relieve the pressure there for the Broncos. They've got to do better with their 5th tackle options.
18 minutes of the game gone. A game that has been punctuated. How many times now by penalties, Gus?
7, mate.
7 times
He'll stop it.
sounded the whistle.
He'll have a rest in him.
Lockyer driving it down to Samau, who brings it back, the number 5 for the Titans. 23 metres out from his line.
I can't wait for someone not to touch the ball with their foot as they're playing it.
Yeah, what will he do then? Is that what you're saying? Peterson. And how many times in a game, I think I know what Pete's talking about, how many times in a game does that happen? Minicello is with the ball.
Let's not talk about Stephen Clark for the rest of the night. I came to watch the football.
It's 8-6 in favour of the Broncos, and we're not talking about the referee anymore. Donnelly.
It's loud.
This is going to be interesting to see who goes off first. Now to Swain. He comes out to Delaney. And Delaney is 38 metres away from the Brisbane line.
Well read. Steve Michaels came in when the overlap was unfolding. Lewis, last tackle, goes too wide to Prince.
Prince, the kick off the back of a Bronco, found by the Titans, and he's restarted the tackle count. He mightn't have been facing the man kicking the ball, but he was acting as though he was charging down. It was Ben Hannon. And now a penalty goes to Brisbane.
Well, he ruled 6 again to the Titans, and I think we saw a one-on-one strip, which gave the ball back to the Broncos. Then a penalty. Now he's marched in 10 metres. I won't tell you the referee's name because we're not talking about him anymore. He's had plenty to do in that little passage, and I think he got it all right.
Lockout. Finding the line this time 25 metres away from the Titans line. Sivanasiva sending one of the young guns up towards the 10-metre line. It's Ben Hannon. Berrigan a dummy half. Lockie is hanging around behind the ruck, waiting his turn, or waiting for when he wants it more appropriately. Play by Thorne. Berrigan for Lockyer, and Lockyer puts it down. Doesn't happen often, but this time it has worked against him in a very strong attacking position.
Yeah, the great man got excited. He saw another try there. He could smell it. He had inside trail. He had Tony Carroll hitting a hole. He had players on the outside there waiting for the ball. He had Hodges in space. He had a man over on the outside. I reckon a 1,000 things were going through the great man's head there, all except catch it.
I must admit, when I was talking earlier about Michael Hancock's appraisal of the Broncos that have been here, he probably thought 16 times before he said it, but he said Darren deserves to be regarded as the best Bronco, and I know he was wrestling with some great names, one of which, of course, is Alan Langer. Now, again, a stoppage, and this time he's calling Darren over.
Well, the Broncos haven't had a caution yet, so we'll just even this up.
Me matters probably as much as everyone else, but if I call move, basically got to move, not come back over the top. That's what your blokes just did then. Okay? Well, they've got to get out.
It's amazing. It's round 17 and they're still making these mistakes, these professional players.
Did the referee say it was driving him crazy too?
I think so. Everybody crazy at the moment. 9 penalties in the game, and when you compare it to State of Origin 2, we had a bloke that night. What do you go? 53 minutes without a penalty.
51.
51. Here's Swain. Panthers would probably love to have him back in the camp. Friend for Prince, then for Lewis, now for Campbell. This is Luke O'Dwyer. Former Eel, looking for the dirt and finding it. 30 metres away from Brisbane. Lewis back on the inside for Minicello. He plays strong. And then it comes away for Prince out at second. Now for Swain out wide. And it's a low tackle by Parker that stops him. And Ennis holds him. Friend keeps it coming to the short side. Prince puts a kick in. And Dan Kemp is able to get it down onto the ground. And it's a penalty for inside the 10 in front of the kicker.
Well, again in that set of 6, the Gold Coast Titans went sideways a lot. Now he's ruling that this player was offside. Yeah, well, line ball, I suppose. But the Gold Coast Titans went sideways a lot there. And as they did, you can notice big holes opening up on the inside where tired players are struggling to get across and cover the pass once it's gone beyond them. If the Titans start to step back inside and turn it inside late in this first half, I think there's points on offer.
So Donnelly is off and Stosic has gone on. James Stosic, who formerly was with Cronulla. Ball played by Greg Eastwood, who's also on there now. Almost to the halfway line comes Justin Hodges. He's talking about the significance of this game for both clubs. Brisbane, a win tonight could take them to number 5 on the ladder, and a loss could see them go down as low as number 11. Here's the kick by Michael Ennis, bouncing down towards the try line, and Preston Campbell is monstered by 3 Broncos. Prince serving it up for Samau. The 10-metre line just behind him, out from the northern end of the ground, the Caxton Street end of the ground. That looks like Delaney under there. It is. Ben Aiken sideline.
It's good to see the Broncos trying to play it smart in defence here tonight. They understand fatigue's going to be an issue. So as you can see here, they're trying to get 2 and 3 players into the tackle. They're going to have to be careful though. Steve Clark's in a penalty-giving mood.
Bailey. Friend. Now Lewis. Sharing that first receiver job very much so with Scott Prince. Prince getting out in the second receiver a lot tonight. This is Kemp, who plays at 35 metres out from his line. A run for Frawley, who I've got to say, Pete, before he went to Canberra, I thought he was going somewhere, Craig Frawley.
Well, he was here at Brisbane. When he left, Wayne Bennett said, "You're welcome back if you'd like to come back," and that's exactly what panned out. What does work very well for Brisbane is Defensively, they bring Sean Berrigan out to left centre. Now with the football, there he is back in at dummy half, giving them that extra dimension around the play the ball area. Hodges slow to his feet.
Hodges not well for Brisbane. Sivanasiva, a stand and an offload for Berrigan. Similar for Lockyer. He bats it back. It's on the ground. It's kicked. It's play on. Back with the Broncos. 6 more tackles. Steve Michaels gets rid of 1, gets rid of 2. Drags a third down the park. Kayla. Wonderful work by Michaels, the number 2. Now Corey Parker is under Swain. Plays it back for Berrigan. Then to Lockyer high. And it looks like the 19, is it Nick Kenny who's on for the Broncos? They're 15 away. Berrigan gets it away for Eastwood. And the Kiwi is about to play the ball back for Ennis, who sweeps it away wide. Lockyer goes out, onto Carroll, onto Hodges. Now for Frawley, big and strong, and he tries to get it over, but they force him back. 5th tackle against the Broncos. Kayla involved with Peterson in defence. The kick to come from Lockyer. There it is, keeping it on the ground. The uprights have interfered with it, and Preston Campbell comes up with the football.
Well, you've got to see where Preston Campbell came from to get involved in that play. He was way over in the corner when that ball was played and got back underneath the post knowing that's where Lockyer would kick. Little fortunate to come up with the rebound, but great awareness by the little fullback to be in position.
Now Stosek. Lockyer using the uprights, thinking that would give him some advantage. That time it worked out the other way. Here's Kemp coming away with it, Pete.
He diffused it very well, Preston Campbell, and a top tackle in there from Scott Prince on Greg Eastwood. Coming across in cover defence. And Steve Michaels, isn't he proven difficult to tackle tonight?
Amos the tackler initially with the help of Stosek. Now Stagg, wholehearted player. Seldom these days gets to play where he wants to in the back row. That's the way it appears. Kenny is with it now, right in the middle of the ground.
He's invaluable. Played Origin last year, David Stagg.
Now Ennis, and back for Eastwood. 5 tackles gone for the Broncos. For Lockyer's left foot, and he's gone very high. Very, very high. Batted back, and the Broncos have batted it down to the Titans. Minicello, he had Eastwood clutching at him 5 and 6 times and beat him eventually.
Just a touch of a mismatch there with Justin Hodges up against Preston Campbell on a high ball.
Strong stuff by the Broncos defence of Michaels and Berrigan on Delaney. Now Samau. Berrigan takes him, and then Parker comes in over the top legitimately. Prince. Kayla hit by Carroll. He didn't quite get the shot on him that he wanted to. Kenny cleaning up. Prince dummies, goes, meets Sivanasiva and takes the tackle of Sivanasiva and Carroll. Amos back at dummy half now. Little kick, and I thought a regather was coming for Lewis, but it's with David Stagg.
Well, he was going to catch it, Josh Lewis, but he had a look and saw that if he was going to catch it on the full, it was to be immediately claimed by the defence, and it would have been the handover. So he was hoping that the bounce might have gone wider to where the support players.
Here's Lockyer getting out wide. Hodges tries to get around O'Dwyer. Takes the tackle and gets a good quick play the ball on. Lockyer thinks about going back to the short side and then decides to have a run himself, and a groan from the crowd looking for a high shot. Michael Ennis. Lockyer gets up, clutching at his jaw. Eastwood plays the ball now, 15 out from the Titans line. Berrigan goes right. Lockyer's with him, cuts him out. Hodges quick. Frawley over the line. Good try, Frawley. Good work, Lockyer. Brilliant work, Lockyer. His involvement was so frequent and so quick.
Yeah, very good attack there. Success on that side again, but a really poor read from Luke O'Dwyer. That was the high tackle bouncing up off the ball. The referee said shoulder. But as they come to the right side in attack, Luke O'Dwyer had already gone back in, thinking there might have been a kick, and left a gaping hole. And But Frawley scores out wide.
So our overseas audiences, plus of course Fox Sports in Australia, who take our matches on replay, welcome to our Friday night #1 game. We are back for the shot at goal to attempt conversion of that man's try, Craig Frawley. Peter just finished talking about him, from Brisbane to Canberra, Canberra back to Brisbane. And he's finished off a raid that included Hodges, but Lockyer, even this pass here, when he just ran a decoy, if you like, was champagne stuff to watch.
Yeah, but it was really aided by Luke O'Dwyer going in behind the defensive line. That forced Matt Peterson to come in. And it does take us back to that short kick from Josh Lewis. He was almost forced into a short kick by the good pressure from Brisbane coming up on the last tackle. Couldn't shape to get a long kick going. And unfortunately for his side, Brisbane came up with it again in great attacking position.
Parker then with a difficult assignment this time. It's there for you to see from the touchline, and he's pushed it across the face.
We'll just show you the high shot here to show you what Peter's talking about, how the Gold Coast Titans aided and abetted this Broncos try. Watch the player 2 in, how he runs in behind the line looking for the Berrigan kick and left his winger posted. There was really nothing on. They had man on man, but O'Dwyer panicked about the kick rather than letting his fullback worry about it, and that created the numbers. Beautifully read by Berrigan, who may have even been thinking kick, but once he saw O'Dwyer whack, he said, well, I'll just get it to the blokes out wide.
Lockyer sending Kenny back, and Kenny has had a heavy collision with Amos, and Amos has gone down for the count.
Yeah, Justin Hodges has gone over with the media concern. He's put the hand up to get some attention, and he's stumbling back Amos.
Amos in back play was rocking and rolling, and again the first man on the scene was the dummy half now, Justin Hodges. And he seems to be one of the more concerned players in rugby league. The number of times you'll see Justin freeing the air passage of a player that's down in trouble. Here's Campbell with the ball now.
I heard Wally Lewis tell a story. He did that to Peter Sterling in an Origin game. Sterling went down injured. Wally came in and said, no one touch him, no one touch him. He's got to go off. He said, I don't know if he was hurt or not. I just wanted him off the field. He said, they carried him off. We won.
Stosek.
I just think with Justin Hodges, it's a sign of his growing maturity. He really has developed in all areas in the last couple of seasons.
Kayla, 30-metre line. Amos is the man at dummy half. I think he probably could see 3 first receivers. He was like Blinky Bill, and he just thought, well, I'll throw it to one of the 3 that I can see. Prince on for Campbell. Campbell on for Delaney. Delaney to his right foot. It'll bounce good for Kemp. Kemp off his 20. Crosses 30. Heads out towards the 40. Puts on a swinging run, arc-like around them before O'Dwyer pulls him down.
Blinky Bill never had double vision. Oh, you can just see his head takes the back.
Frawley.
Yeah, good stuff, Justin Hodges.
Here's Michaels now. (12-6) to score. Brisbane in front after the Titans grabbed first points, and then a strong effort by Thorne. Up the middle, 35 out from the Titans line. Lockyer to the line. Kept them guessing. And eventually held by Stosek and Amos. Berrigan to Parker, and Parker goes very high to Campbell, and the little bloke comes down with it. Ennis, the tackler, as he reaches the ground. Samau, hammered by the Broncos, 8 away from his own line.
This is the most aggressive defence I've seen from the Broncos on tackle 5 situations against them tonight. They're really putting a lot of pressure on the kicker, not normally renowned for it, but they're doing it in large numbers. Let's see at the back end of this set of 6 if they get pressure on the kicker again.
Friday night football. Tigers and Panthers is next on 9. Minicello. 25 out from the Titans line. The kick down the ground for Kemp.
Well, there it was again. Benny Hannett, the big front rower, set himself, sprinted up, made the kicker kick it high, and that made it easy for his fullback to catch it on the floor. It's a definite plan here tonight. Lewis and Prince are being put under a lot of pressure. Here's Benny Hannett, the big front rower, sprinting in there. They've got to kick over him so the ball goes high, then the fullback catches it on the floor.
Kenny. Nick Kenny. Carries one of the great rugby league names, does he? Does he not?
Yep, Nick Geiger. Can't hear any other Nick.
Berrigan. Lockyer. And then Michaels taken by Samau and put down on the 20-metre line. Lockyer, left-footed kick and cross the ground to Peterson. So he'll just cruise back to the 20-metre line for the restart. He's having a good year, Peterson. He's been across the line many, many times. And a penalty goes to the Titans. They must have ruled them inside the 10 at the kickoff, or should I say at the restart.
Yeah, they never retreated the 10 metres here, the Broncos. There they are, they're all in front of the line and just move up tired. 35 minutes gone in the first half. You can't blame a few of them. But the Titans have had no ball at the other end of the field for quite a while now. They need to get up there and see if they can't post some points themselves.
This is Cooper who's on for the Titans in Carlton Draft Friday night football. Amos seems to be recovered. Prince on to Stosic. And Stosic attracts the Broncos into him, and they are winning the battle. And the Titans happy to see Stosic play the ball because he was losing ground. Donnelly's back, and the ball was, I thought, raked off him, but the referee said play on, loose carry. Now a knock on against Stagg. Maybe justice has been done here.
Well, Ian Donnelly was very unhappy with Ben Hannon. Well, in fact, it wasn't Hannon, it was David Stagg who definitely raked the football out. And it is, yes, it's appropriate. That's David Stagg who loses the football.
It's a call, Karma.
Just haven't been allowed any rhythm tonight, the Gold Coast team, and it is that aggression in defence that Phil Gould mentioned. They're really getting up in their faces, and the ball players, Prince and Lewis, just had time taken away from them. They can't get to do what they want to do in their own time. So everything looks a little bit forced for the visitors.
Minicello bundled into the ground by Eastwood. Now it's Kayla who thought about getting it around the corner to Campbell, but Hannett and Kenny make the tackle. Here's Prince going from the open to the blind, and Luke O'Dwyer had visions of something, and Frawley came off his wing. Prince went that way, then he had to go back to the open. This is Stosic. Stosic is 20 metres out from the Brisbane line. Amos, Prince, right foot kick, marked in goal by Kemp.
And again, plenty of pressure going through on Scott Prince. He didn't get the kick away he wanted because he didn't have time to place it up in his face. Which means the Gold Coast Titan players have got to get deeper in everything they do.
Minute and a half of the first half to go in front of a healthy crowd here at Suncorp. Phil Gould touched on it earlier. This crowd is over 40,000. I'd be sure of that. And that's a tribute to the people of southeast Queensland, of course. They love their football. Here's Hodges.
And Lockyer has been known to take a 1 point on the stroke of half-time, and it wouldn't be a bad time to go for one here.
Hodges looks like he might have a hamstring problem, and here's what Peter Sterling has forecast. A shot for drop goal from Lockyer, but it's wide.
Hodges is gone.
Hodges indicating to the bench that he can't take any further part. And that's where it went. He started to grimace before he was even tackled.
Just as he changed direction there, looks as though it's a hamstring, and again, hamstring injuries, they can come down to fatigue. Just makes your body a little bit more vulnerable.
And here's O'Dwyer. They hit the space that Hodges would have vacated. Brad Thorne, I notice, has got himself over onto that side of the Brisbane defence.
Tony Carroll's making his way over now.
So Amos out for Lewis, then for Prince, now for Cooper. And Cooper is 5 metres from the halfway line and knocked off. So that'll be it. The siren in the background at Suncorp. At half-time, it's 12-6 in favour of the Broncos. Stay with us. Coming up, we've got Holden half-time, where Phil Gould will join Ben Ikin on the sideline with all the first half action, including the Bundy big plays on the home of the big sports, Channel 9. Wayne Bennett, a concerned coach, obviously. Another one bites the dust. This time it's Justin Hodges, who bravely came around to play again tonight. He was very much in doubt, but now it seems as though he's torn a hamstring, and it would appear fairly badly as well. He couldn't get out of there quick enough, Justin. Hunt, Tate and Carlaw, of the 8 that played on Wednesday night, weren't here at the start. Now they've been joined by Hodges. In fact, if you include the residents game that preceded Origin 3 on Wednesday night, Brisbane had 11 representatives. Taylor, Kenny and Perry all played in the residents match, which preceded Origin 3. So the club was affected more than just in first grade.
And they still have Sam Thaiday on the sideline as well, back in a couple of weeks. And the Titans are going through their own problems. Michael Hodgson won't play any more part of this game, and of course Michael Henderson, the front row from the Dragons, broke his leg in the round 5 game. Brad Myers is out for the season. Richie Mathers is out for the season. LaFranchi, Matt Rogers also on the sidelines as Darren Lockyer brings his side back on with a 6-point lead.
In their last 5 games, the Broncos scored a massive 160 points, and they've given up only 53, and that puts them at number 4 on the percentages. He's packed up for the night, Justin. Number 4 on percentages, and as I said, a win tonight could take them to number 5 on the ladder.
That's my understanding, that he would have had pain-killing injections to play tonight, Justin Hodges, favouring an ankle injury that nearly kept him out of Origin 3. Sometimes when you're favouring a leg injury, that hamstring will go on you, and I think that's what happened on that occasion. Bad luck for the man.
Delaney kicking off second half of the match between the Titans and the Broncos with Hannon, and again he goes looking for Nathan Friend, as he has done a few times tonight. Where's that little bloke with the headgear? And he aims himself at him as much as he can. Here's Kenny for the Broncos. From Berrigan they go across to Thorne, and the Broncos centre 3/4 Hodges getting that hamstring heavily strapped as his clubmates finish the first set of the second half. And Campbell, who's not well, you can tell by his involvement level tonight that it's not the real Preston Campbell.
Of course, he hurt his knee in that City Country game, but it's a back injury, a buttock injury, lower back, that has been his problem. Brisbane looking to keep a couple of players in reserve. Wayne Bennett, he's looking at the last 20-25 minutes of this game. So far we haven't had Dave Taylor or Shane Perry in the action. They've gone with 15 for the opening 40.
Play by Friend, Donnelly a dummy half, and then Prince slides it away. It's with Cooper. 5th tackle against the Titans. Let's hope we don't get as many penalties during this second half early on. And this bomb, Friend has knocked it on. There's no need to get too excited if you're a Titan or a Bronco. Friend had a snap at it, but it's come off his hands and gone forward, and the match is at turnover stage. And Brad Thorne is pulled down. The littlest man on the ground pulls down the biggest man. Nathan Friend on Brad Thorne. 12-6 the score. Nine's Friday night. First match, Brisbane versus Gold Coast. The Jetstar Titans. Let's get an update on the injury situation from Ben.
It's just as we thought with Justin Hodges. It's a torn left hamstring. He will not be returning to the field tonight and could be facing an extended period on the sideline.
Michael Ennis getting a kick away, which is deflected. Peterson goes back, swings it away immediately to Campbell. And Campbell is tackled back on his own 20-metre line by Corey Parker and Ben Hannon. Peterson dummy half using the other winger, Samau. Just inside the 30-metre line down the Milton end of the ground. Southern end. Play back for Friend, and he wants to be careful. He went to the right, then he came back around the man who played the ball. There could have been an argument made for obstruction. Played on halfway by Donnelly. Given on to Lewis, who got the Jetstar Gold Coast Titans try off this man's perfectly placed kick into the in goal early. 4th minute of the game. This is Kemp, tackled by Friend and Prince. Michaels. This just goes to show it probably doesn't matter how big they might be, even though Denon Kemp is not that big, but Friend got him in the right position and drove him. 30-metre line for Brad Thorne. From Berrigan away to Ben Hannon. There he goes again, aiming at the bloke with the headgear. I'd be taking the headgear off if I was Nathan Friend. I reckon it sticks out and it identifies him.
He has been good tonight. The number 8 as Corey Parker finds some metres out of dummy half over the halfway line.
And again, the little bloke is underneath him. Now Lockyer puts it down between fullback and winger. Campbell sending Samau back. And Samau chased by Stagg. Pulled down 10 away from the Titans line. This is Cooper with the ponytail.
That's a go for Nathan Friend. He just gets one the colour of Preston Campbell. So he gets black hair.
Delaney forced back by this, I won't say brutal Brisbane defence, but I tell you what, it's intense. It's got plenty of teeth in it. Donnelly. There's been a few of them go round in our game. I mentioned Kenny earlier. Of course, that name has been around before a couple of times, as I think of the late Dallas. 30-metre line, and they got him in the human wheelbarrow. Kemp. Michaels didn't like his pass. Look, he passes and Eastwood eventually coughs it up. Now Peterson. Tackled on 30. Minicello. Busy, shrugging, pushing, fending. Centre ground. Inside Brisbane 20. Good time for the Titans to level it up. Shown by Prince, given by Prince. Delaney to the sideline. Defence good. Hodges applauds.
And there they go again. The Gold Coast Titans going sideways. Mentioned it the first half, mentioned it at half time, and I'll say it again. That is not the way to beat the Brisbane Broncos. Everything went sideways. Prince will now go sideways, dummy inside and keep going. And the Broncos defence will just be patient. They'll use the sideline as a defender. Berrigan will use the cameraman as a bump pad. That was dangerous. But good defence by the Broncos, and the Gold Coast haven't tweaked yet where they need to attack them if they're going to get points.
Tell me, Joe, the cameraman's going to be headlines again.
Well, I've got him down for a tackle.
Stossic's gone down for the Titans. Berrigan's okay after his collision with the camera. And they've called a halt for Stossic. So he's clutching at a shoulder injury. I don't know whether it's shoulder or leg now. We'll take a break and come back in a moment to Suncorp. James Stosic seems to be moving quite freely. He's going to continue. Back live at Suncorp Stadium. First of our 2 matches coming from Brisbane tonight. Tigers and Panthers to follow as Carroll drives down the right side.
And before that break, we saw James Stosic down. He's back in the defensive line. It was a knee injury. He's back and moving around as Smith juggles the football. Picks up 10 metres. 4 defenders there to take him.
Completions 23 from 27 for Brisbane. 19 from 26 for the Titans, with Cooper almost ridding himself of Kenny.
He's a good player, this kid. Gee, he's done some good things this year.
Lewis puts it where Minichiello wants it, right on the chest, and then Minichiello throws a dumb pass. It's gone away from Ennis to Parker. Fends off Prince, comes to Friend, gets rid of him. Prince has another go, Friend has another go. And the second time it's successful on Parker. Kemp, Lockyer to Kenny. Too much pressure to be catching footballs, and it's with the Titans now.
I'm going to tell you something. They're really tired, the Broncos. Really tired. A couple of times they've got the ball, they've been very bunched. Heads go down when they drop it, and that's not like them. The Titans really just need to control possession here and alter their attack a little bit, and there's still a chance in this game. I don't know whether they know it or not, but from up here it looks like they are.
Friend playing it for Campbell. Prince on to Delaney. And Delaney tries to put that big frame through the gap. Brisbane have been asked to make only about 25 more tackles than the Titans. 12-6 to score. And it's with Prince. Then for Lewis, they make the mistake. And it's dived on by Frawley for Brisbane, back on his own 20.
Yeah, Scott Prince thought he saw something out wide. Went to Josh Lewis, who was hitting a cruncher from Tony Carroll. Luke Bailey now out there for James Stosic. As Hannett again takes it forward. And again picks up some tough metres.
17 going into the game for the Bronx. Dave Taylor.
I'll talk about Benny Hannett when we get a break, but geez, he's having a great game. He's getting a rest now from his coach. He's going to the sideline to be replaced. But his contribution has been outstanding so far.
Well, 2 huge men coming out now for Brisbane. Sivnasiva. That's Eastwood taking it forward. But have a look at the size of the number 17 too, Dave Taylor. He has his first run.
Lockyer giving it back to Brad Thorne. There's Taylor. And if you think Brad Thorne is big, this fella's bigger. Just inside the 30-metre line, he stands and plays it sloppily. Over to Ennis. Drills it in behind Peterson. There's a job to be done. And it's coming out to the 20 for the restart.
Well, there's no doubt that Wayne Bennett has seen that same tiredness that I was just referring to, getting 2 fresh forwards out there. But the man who's gone to the bench, Benny Hannett, 34 tackles, about 10 hit-ups. He's been absolutely tremendous. You can imagine this young bloke, his coach Wayne Bennett, saying it to him during the week, we're going to have some tired boys, we need a big one from you. And I think that's the real strength of a coach like Wayne Bennett or a Jack Gibson. He makes the young bloke feel so important. And Benny Hannett's delivered for him tonight. He's been terrific.
Penalty to Titans. It's against the Broncos for not getting up and getting away quickly enough to the satisfaction of the ref. There's Hannett.
You called his brother at the swimming too, didn't you?
Yeah, his brother Ephraim. I think a backstroker from memory. Australian Dolphin. Minichiello inside the 20.
They're a chance here, the Titans. Gee, they're tired, the Broncos.
Sivnasiva hanging on with Kemp. From Friend to Prince to Bailey. And Luke Bailey is put down. It's only the second tackle of the set. So the Titans looking to level up. Cooper knocked on by Campbell. Knocked on by Campbell.
Well, Minichiello showed the way with his first run. As we see Stosic in the dressing room, whether or not he'll be back, we don't know. But Minichiello's first run, where he just took them on with footwork and strength, he pulled his way through the line, it was sensational. And the next 2 plays, the Gold Coast went back to going sideways. And that just suits the Broncos. They've got to take them on with footwork and power and up-tempo football. If you go sideways, the Broncos are old stages. They can handle that comfortably.
Benny Aiken sideline.
Yeah, Gus is 100% right. I'm watching the Broncos' defence here. They are tiring quickly, particularly around the ruck. Now, if the Titans want to take advantage of that, Nathan Friend has to work hard with some of these big forwards. He has to pick the ball up from dummy half, go to the line with forwards in numbers, create some variety, and then shift the ball wide to Scott Prince to do his work.
Thorne. 35 away from his own line. Brad Thorne, just in the last few minutes, looking to me as though he's lifted his work rate. 7 receiver, that's Amos and Stosek back in the Titans dressing room. Lockyer goes to Taylor. Taylor turned on his back by the Titans defence. The wrestle, they win.
Looks as though Stosek might be back. I'd say that he's about to get strapped. The spray going on underneath. There's Preston Campbell, an easy take on his own 10. Can't beat Carroll, who drives in with the right shoulder.
Peterson away for O'Dwyer. And Thorne is there to make the tackle. It's the doctor asking questions of Amos. Just checking how effective he really is before giving him any clearance to go on. We've read about that in the papers following the Dallas Johnson affair on Wednesday. Now Cooper, yes, Phil.
We had a few footballers fail the test when they were good. I don't know how they go when they're concussed. It's a bit unfair.
Prince got a pass away for Lewis, and Lockyer came right up real quick. Put the little bloke away. Now Prince, he finds Peterson. Sideshow goes down the left side, but the ball travelled forward, I thought. And Clark now has ruled that way, and it'll be turnover Brisbane, 30 metres out from their own line.
Look at the Broncos here around the play the ball. Blokes with their hands on their hips and hands on their hands. Here it is going down the edges. I thought that ball might have floated forward. Peterson was unlucky, but the great Darren Lockyer coming across in cover defence. What a performance that is. Look at the Broncos bunching here behind the play the ball. You can throw a handkerchief over. They're all in behind the play. There's no one out to the left-hand side of the field there to throw it to.
Michaels had Kaler underneath, and then Donnelly went up around the throat. And I can't work out why it took the referee that long to blow the whistle. He must have got a tip from somebody, because I was thinking to myself, well, that's a high tackle. Watch this. I mean, certainly you might call it innocuous, but at the end of the day, compared with some of the other penalties that have been given tonight, I thought he's got to go, this bloke. A penalty at least, but there was a huge delay. Here's Sivan Asiva now. 12 out from the uprights. Berrigan has a look, counts his numbers, goes back to Lockyer, goes back to Kemp. And Kemp is tackled neatly around the legs by Friend. Now Berrigan, he hits Sivan Asiva, the big fella, can't get it down. They walk him back.
What defence. He was over the line. One-on-one over the line. They got numbers back somehow.
Berrigan there. Decoys going everywhere. Lockyer comes out for Carroll. Carroll inside for Frawley. Frawley got it back for Lockyer. He loses the ball. I was only thinking to myself, the big tries, the big matches that Darren Lockyer has won. Will he do it tonight?
Oh, he played such a hand in the lead-up too, and it looked for sure like he had scored a crucial try for the Broncos. Frawley back on the inside. The big man unloads it, taken by Lockyer. He can see the line. I'll score for sure. And over the top comes Scotty Prince, dislodges the ball, and the try goes begging.
Outside.
Darren Lockyer said, I had that in the bank.
Out.
Titans with Delaney.
That's one.
Stosek and Amos. I notice a heading back towards the bench. Whether they're going back there as spectators, I don't know. It's played by Bailey. Now for Donnelly. And Donnelly, he was looking for somebody to give it to, but nobody put their hands up. Ben, what's going on with these injured Titans?
Well, James Stosic and Clint Amos are both on the sideline. Stosic with his knee and Amos with the concussion, but they have both been cleared to come back on the field, Ray.
Okay, thank you, Ben. Played by Luke Swain. Given by Nathan Friend. Kicked then by Scott Prince. Down deep into the corner. Kemp has done it. No, he hasn't.
Did it go forward?
I don't know, Pete. Michaels is with it.
He was trying to deny the 40-20 off Scott Prince. Tapped the football back as Kemp gets tackled inside his own 20.
Here it is for you to have a look at. I thought for a moment he might have done a Jared Hay. No, he was offside, but he went back and put himself onside. And then started his forward movement.
Sorry, Rabbits, now the Broncos have knocked it on coming out of trouble. And it was a knock on through tiredness as well. Well, it was actually a strip.
The size of this bloke, Taylor.
He did this when he came on a couple of weeks ago. He was strong, but he did lose the ball a couple of times with a loose carry. And I'll say it again. I get the feeling that if the Titans can get one try here, they might get 2 or 3. I really see the Broncos tiring badly.
Prince then away for Lewis to go on. Delaney, and Delaney is tackled on the 20-metre line. Eastern side of the ground, they're running towards Caxton Street. Swain snapped out of it in the defence of Taylor and Stagg. Here's Lewis going back to give depth to Prince, who shows it. And Lockyer takes Prince down. 12 out. O'Dwyer, blindside, Minicello. Taken by Carroll. Thorne over the top. Friend. Prince steps off his right twice. Comes back short side. O'Dwyer beats one. Lockyer makes the tackle with Kemp. 5 gone. The Titans from the Gold Coast. Here is a chance. No! Back there miraculously. It's a penalty. Penalty Broncos anyway. Parker. He wasn't to know that. 10 out of 10 Corey Parker, but a penalty anyway.
He was offside, Josh Lewis. That was the place to attack through hands anyway. You had Dave Taylor and Petro Civoniceva defending next to the post. You come wide to the left, stretch the defence, and then go at the props, who are 2 and 3 passes wide of where the play the ball is taking place.
Civoniceva. Crowd tonight. Oh, gee. I don't think they budgeted for that many. Thorne to the halfway. What are they, 1,500 short of 50,000? Magnificent crowd. Take a bow, southeastern Queensland. Brisbane, Gold Coast. Massive crowd. 48,500. Berrigan for Eastwood. And Friend is in there. They might be running it at him, but he's not reneging. He just won't go away. Like a debt collector. Civoniceva plays it. 30 out. Lockyer to the air. So the aerial assault is on Campbell. And the little bloke takes it. And Stagg must have only just let him come to ground.
And he had to make a late adjustment there, Preston Campbell. He went up too early in the wrong place and had to reach out for the football. Shane Perry on for the first time for Brisbane. Dave Taylor just a short stint out there as Delaney is tackled in numbers. 11 out.
Yep. Good work, David Stagg. Could have given a penalty easily there. Split second in it. Temptation to tackle the little fella in the middle, in mid-air, and take him in goal. But Stagg played by the rule book. Now they work for the mistake, and they had to kick from just outside the 20. And they should get this first tackle back to halfway. Frawley does that.
Yeah, that was a terrible set of 6 there by the Gold Coast. No imagination at all, not trying to run the Broncos around. And the Broncos have got a little bit of wind back in the lungs. All of a sudden they've picked up a gear, and they can sense that the Titans don't know how to go about this.
Michaels had to go into dummy half. Nobody was there. 32 metres away from the line. Middle of the ground. Here is Perry, wearing 21. one of the 11 players who played in the events of last Wednesday. Lockyer and Carroll loses the football.
So you're talking earlier about Nathan Friend and the number of tackles that he's had to make tonight. And Ben Eichen says, well, Nathan Friend's got to be the one that inspires the Gold Coast Titans with some running from dummy half. But the tactics of rugby league are this way, that if you think Nathan Friend is going to be a danger to you at dummy half, you get his tackle count up. He's now made 37 tackles. Every forward in the Broncos team looks for him, gets him to make a tackle. So how do you think he feels when they get the ball? He's had enough. He's tired. So he can't be the danger player the Gold Coast want him to be. So the Broncos actually take out the opposition danger man by getting his tackle count up.
And here are the Titans now half making a break with Lewis.
Oh, it's a good tackle from Sean Berrigan. There was no one at home.
Now Bailey to the 40-metre line. Talking of that, reminds me of a grand final, I think it was, when they did that to Terry Lamb at Canterbury. I think he made 23 first-half tackles with number 6 on his back. Now Prince, swaying, tries to get through the big fellas. Eastwood makes the tackle. Friend quickly to Prince. Back then, quickly Lewis on to Cooper. Cooper to Campbell. Campbell away. It's gone off from Delaney. Back on the inside for Campbell. Campbell stands and is put down. Broncos stretched on the 5th now. Prince inside 30. Kick is high. Peterson's coming. Frawley. Oh, brilliant take. Wonderful take from Craig Frawley. And Brisbane get a penalty.
Well, this is an interesting penalty because Mark Minicello is going to argue that Frawley was not held. And then when he got up to go again, let's watch it. Frawley makes the catch, goes down on the ground. There's no one holding him. Well, as soon as he touched him, it's a tackle. Frawley didn't get up, so Minicello is in the wrong. He can't lift him up and carry him back. Had Frawley made an attempt to get up, he could have done it. They haven't found touch.
Oh, Peterson and Campbell aren't talking to each other.
That could have been disastrous.
Campbell off his 20, outside his 30, out from his 40. Have a look at this. Peterson and Campbell. Cooper. 8 changes made by Bennett. 9 by Cartwright. Kayla. Prince away. O'Dwyer. Tackle. Jerks the ball free. It's with Peterson.
And again, just putting the ball through the hands, trying to go around them. Someone's got to turn it back inside, take them on.
Minicello. Friend to Prince. Prince to the air. They're in the field of play. Now they're forced its line drop out. We'll take a break. Getting a bit tight, isn't it? Out on their feet, the Bronx. Back live at Suncorp. Friday night football. Carlton draft Friday night football. This is going down to the wire. Broncos by 6. Friend for Kayla. 30 out. Bailey. Luke Bailey, their lone origin player. Prince kicks down the ground for O'Dwyer. Frawley's gone in goal. Another line dropout.
Yeah, it looks nice, but is it really effective? I just think that Scotty Prince is running out of ideas here. He needs some help from the bench. I want to say, look, let's take them on with their tired around the middle on the post. I just don't know. I don't know, Sterling. Do you think he's...
I think they've got to start working wide and head back to the post, not the other way around, not go from the post wide. I think they know each other, those two.
I hope they do.
Well read there from Craig Frawley. And the time is starting to get away from the Titans. There's still plenty of time left, but it is an hour since they scored the first try of the game. And again, a slow restart. That's twice now that Stephen Clark has blown time out, waiting for the Broncos to restart under the posts.
Lockyer's dropout, not as good as we know he can do, but it still went 45.
Hard work to come left after this next play. Stretch the defence and go back at the post where the big men are.
Campbell. They cut out Prince. Swain. Got it away before the ground. Cooper. 18 away from the Brisbane line. That's where they are. Northeastern corner. They attack it. And Swain. The strain.
They make easy meters when they run hard, don't they?
Long pass. Took an hour to get to Campbell. Prince a short ball for Kayla. Hannon lies on it. Campbell dummy half. Prince another kick. This time. O'Dwyer, but did he ground the ball properly?
I thought it took a big bounce looking from here.
Well, the fans believe it did. The Gold Coast Titans players believe it did. But the only person who really counts now is Chris Ward, the video referee. Luke Dwyer's had an awful season with injury. Missed all the first half of the season. And that kick has all the chasers on side. All we're looking at is this shot, which will show it perfectly, putting it down. Luke Dwyer. That's a try, none better.
They've done it. They've done it. A chance to go level.
Well, he was right, Scotty Prince. Grab a kick in behind.
There it is. Chance to level. There's the try scorer, Luke O'Dwyer. In the side, replacing the injured Matt Rogers. And talking of being a former Parramatta player, so too is the man with the number 4 on his back taking the kick, Brett Delaney.
It was normally a very straight kicker. A lot of kickers in the game, the Thurstons, the Madries, they turn the ball quite dramatically, but Delaney tends to kick them fairly straight.
This for level. Like it a lot. Jetstar Titans 12. Brisbane Broncos 12.
Well, that's the one the Titans wanted. Benny Eichen sideline. How's it look down there?
Well, you knew Queensland were doing well this year when they could leave Scott Prince out of the State of Origin team. He absolutely mesmerises opposition defences. He can pass, he can kick, he holds that ball out in front. They don't know what he's going to do. He's a great player.
What a wrap for Queensland Rugby League. Coming into this weekend, all 3 teams in the top 8.
Kayla to the 20-metre line. Bailey.
Yeah, well, Luke Bailey, I'll tell you what, he's been strong the last 10 minutes, Luke Bailey. He's had 2 runs in every set of 6 since he came back onto the field. Now a penalty on the tiring Broncos. Quickly kicked out by Scotty Prince. The Titans can sense it. Little brother is coming after big brother in a big way.
Minicello.
He looks dangerous every time he takes it forward, Minicello, doesn't he?
You're absolutely right. He's had a very high involvement. Bailey working back off an inside ball from Prince. Friend behind Swain to Prince, to Lewis, to Cooper, who's been threatening down that right side. Plenty of size out there with Cooper and Delaney. This is Donnelly buffeting his way around. And Hannon and Perry pull him down. Friend torments them. Campbell likewise.
once again.
2 more metres and he's home. Number 9 for the Titans. Now for Scotty Prince. Look at the footwork. Look at the footwork. There's the plant down. Scott Prince stepping, and scoring.
Yes. Step back on the inside. Take on the slow men. In the middle of the field, Scotty Prince. The penny has dropped. Great incision down the right-hand side of the field. A little bit lucky with the interchange of passing, but then the ball will come back courtesy a long pass. Look who he's got in front of him, Carroll, Eastwood, seven receiver, little men on big, slow, tired men. It was a mismatch.
Well, the new franchise, top of the shopping list. The number 7, Scott Prince, the number 8, Luke Bailey. And the one thing that you need to be successful is a number 7 who gets some continuity in his game. Scott Prince hasn't missed one for the Gold Coast side this year. He's a leader on and off the field. And tonight, what about the prodigious sidestep? There on 2 occasions. Bang, bang, accelerate, slam it down, and all of a sudden in the space of, 3 minutes, 12 points.
What about the Buddha? Prince acknowledging the crowd. Girl, yes. Shades of the Beatles there, yeah. It was brilliant to watch. Now Delaney. Who stands like that? Hannay, doesn't he? Bang, Delaney gets it. They're gone to a 6 lead. Yeah.
Well, I said if they got one, they'd get another one straight away. Can they handle the last 8.5 minutes and close it out now? But this is just brilliant stuff. Look at the tiredness in the Broncos forwards. They can't make up their ground on the inside. And the Titans, little brother's now 6 in front. Can he finish it off? Or has big brother got something else to say in this game? He's playing with the Guymea Gorillas at the moment.
Sway. I was just so happy to see that 12-all scoreline change. Bailey, good run by Bailey, shunting his way down the ground. Poor old Petro picking himself up, getting onside, as tired as he is. Hannon's been brilliant. Sway.
The pennies dropped now. They're just driving through the middle of the field. Look at that, they've gone 65 metres in 5 plays, straight through the middle.
Prince snapping at a field goal.
Good idea, bad kick. It was a great idea. Bad kick.
Well, they've kicked one this year, but that came off the boot of Josh Lewis. Will not be the last attempt we see. Sivan Asiva trundles it forward, and we see a penalty that went the Gold Coast way first half for the same offence, this time going Brisbane's way, not back 10 from the restart.
Look at poor old Petro trying to pick himself up and get back into the action. What a great series he had for Queensland. What a tremendous game he had the other night. You feel a little aggrieved that he couldn't get across and save that try. He just hit that up there and it took him an age to get up. Here comes Thorne.
Don't write him off yet.
Well, no one's writing him off.
Parker. 30-metre line. Tigers, Panthers coming up next. 30 metres away. Hannon with a handoff. That's Perry. Ennis looking for Lockyer. He's got him. Then Carroll. Lockyer and Carroll. Or Carroll and Lockyer. They've been like they're joined at the hip. Carroll plays it to Ennis. They go wide for Perry. Perry huddles over and takes the tackle. They set up for something. Behind Sivan Asiva. Lockyer, Ben Hammond, and the defence strong. Benny Aiken.
What about the character of this Titans side? They will not give in, and it's the coaching staff, this man included, Billy Johnson. They are fit, they are fearless, and you have to be at near your best for the full 80 minutes if you're going to beat them.
Are you able to hear yourself think down there, Ben?
Oh, look, the crowd's outstanding down here. 48,000 people. They're right into this match. The Broncos supporters still think their team can win this one.
Bailey.
Luke Bailey has been outstanding the last 10 minutes. That's 21 hit-ups now. And I reckon 10 or 11 of them have been in about the last... He's waved to the sideline. He said, I'm gone. He has really lifted this team in the last 15 minutes.
Kemp.
That was a good kick. They were deep in their own territory. It's a good result. Minicello makes the first contact.
So, being a dominant tackle, Clark giving them a bit more freedom. Michaels, 28 metres out from his own line. Can they come back? The Broncos. I told you that they could win and go to number 4 or 5, I think I said. But to lose, they could go down to 11. They need a converted try. Parker's going in the right direction. Lockyer pulled down by O'Dwyer. Tried to get up, pulled down again. Played back to Ennis. Ennis to 7, Asiva. 18 away from the line. 4.5 to go. And there it goes from Ennis back to Kemp. 5th tackle, where's Lockyer?
Left he is.
He's gone the other way. Ennis with the kick. Campbell's got it back into the field of play.
I reckon he was unlucky, Darren Lockyer, when he tried to support their Corey Parker. I reckon he was tackled a fraction before he got the ball, which didn't allow him to show his pace.
Yeah, it was a very close thing. Luke O'Dwyer, I think, was hanging on to Ennis. We've got a problem out there for Michael Ennis on the right shoulder.
The Titans working away from their 10-metre line. With Cooper, they've used 4, but they lead by 6. Delaney down the right side.
Yeah, clever play, Scott Prince. Went the way where there was most metres, but they've got to get a good kick away. Here come the chasers through again. Wonderful kick from a short take-off.
He's fired that out of a cannon. That's gone 60 metres on the fly.
Frawley. Prince took a hit from Big Taylor. Taylor nailed him. And Scotty Prince is clutching at his collarbone, or is he having trouble getting his breath? Taylor got him, the big fella with Eastwood. Now the Broncos with Hannon carrying the defenders.
Scott Prince leaving the field.
Dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Berrigan out of dummy half, still going. Ennis has got the football. The right shoulder's okay.
Eastwood gets the ball away. It's play on for Kemp, and he's ridden into the ground by Minicello.
That's the 4th tackle.
2.5 minutes of the game to go. 6 points the margin. Penalty Brisbane.
There's your mark.
Oh, it's a tough penalty in the context of the game, but the Broncos, they're finishing at a great rate here, Rabbits. Look at this.
Lockyer in front of the uprights by 9 metres. Here is Ennis. Then it's over the line for Taylor. He puts on a 9.9. Taylor has scored. He has just featured in a tackle on Prince, which has rendered the captain injured and off the park and onto the bench back in the dressing room. And now Taylor, like a big jumbo jet, has scored right behind the dot.
Well, you're never going to stop that man that close to the line, one-on-one. We've got players down everywhere. We are about to go to Golden Point, you would think, as Scott Prince, who I said earlier, has not missed a game for the Gold Coast Titans. Let's hope that remains the case after that tackle. Michael Ennis has also recovered the flat ball. And the huge man gets over with Corey Parker in prime position to send us into extra time, possibly. We still have a minute 15 after this kick.
Parker kicks it. That's the first thing. We're back level. It's 18-18 in the local derby.
There's going to be a minute to go, or just under a minute to go, when they take this kick off. Darren Lockyer can kick from a long, long way out. And in that set of 6, the Broncos made such easy ground with forwards. There's still a chance of getting into field goal range, although the Gold Coast taking a heap of time to get back for the kickoff.
Ben Ikin sideline.
Let me tell you a little bit about this kid, Dave Taylor, as we see John Cartwright make his way down to the sideline. He's 18 years of age, he's 110 kilos. He's one of the 4 fastest players at the Broncos, but he's not just a battering ram. This kid is all footballer.
Oh, Hannant tackled. Bailey hung an arm out and then turned it into a face slap, and it was let go wisely by the referee and the touchies. Sivan Asiva inside 30. Parker runs at friend, reels back into a big forward. 15 seconds to go. Heading for golden point. Thorne is tackled on the 3rd. 7 seconds to go. Lockyer runs it. Carroll's with it. Frawley passes. Lockyer's tackled. Loses the ball. And the siren sounds. The end of regular time.
What a great game of football. And just for good measure, we're going to be entertained to a little bit more. There's Hodges, injured in action. Minicello, who has saved 2 tries, I reckon, with great tackles in this second half, cover defending tackles. Titans, without their leader, Scott Prince, go into a huddle. The Broncos, battered and beaten, worn out, players backing up from Origin. They go into their huddle. There's not much being said, they just want to be together.
I mentioned earlier that Josh Lewis has kicked the only field goal for the Gold Coast Titans. Darren Lockyer has kicked 2 this season. And Scott Prince continues to receive treatment after this huge contact.
I just wanted to see that again. There was nothing in there. The tackle wasn't late. Neither of those men could pull out. And there was nothing high about it. Taylor took him with a shoulder. And it would seem he's got a dislocated shoulder or something of that like.
It's more right at the clavicle where it is near his sternum. He seems to be, and when you push that joint out of place, it is really painful, and it hurts for years. Years it hurts for. That's a really painful injury there. It looks like get your collarbone squeezed together like that. You feel it right through your body. Here we go, extra time. 1 point will get you 2. Both teams tired. Both teams have got match winners. Both teams have got players out on their feet. The local derby, southeast Queensland. The Panthers and the Tigers will have to wait. We're not finished here at Suncorp Stadium yet.
And the Broncos will have the first opportunity to score points because they will receive from the kickoff after Delaney.
So Delaney takes us into golden point. Taylor taking it back. Donnelly tried to meet him head on.
That's a run.
20-metre run out there by Taylor. And a big collision with Donnelly. Now for Brad Thorne. Taken by Cooper. Quick play the ball. Berry going to scurry out from dummy half. 8 metres from halfway. 30 minutes, or should I say, golden point. 35 metres out, I would imagine, is where Darren's going to get a shot, if in fact he takes it. Now they're there.
Yep, he's to the left side of the play, the ball, and Marker's getting through, led by Bailey. He's got a bit of time.
Here's a kick, it's got plenty of length. It's got plenty of length. It's hit the upright, it's over, it's over, it's over. The game is over, the kick is over. This freak of a man, Darren Lockyer, has left his mark on yet another blockbuster.
He hasn't given the goal yet. He hasn't given the goal yet. I'm sure it's a goal.
Well, the players know. The Gold Coast Titans are devastated. Yes.
Upright, and it lands in goal. It can't have gone anywhere else. If it lands in goal, it can't have gone anywhere else. It disappears behind the crossbar. Put your